welcome to my channel Brown Girl Big World, and today I'll tell you a story about a common girl who decided to go for her dreams of living abroad. That's me. Question time. Who do you think this is? Yes, that's me. And no, I don't identify myself as a he. But I used to be a tomboy when I was a kid. If my mom couldn't find me in the house, she'd always find me outside exploring or just climbing a tree. No exaggeration. And some habits don't go away.
Are you kidding me?
Anyway, my point is, I've always dreamt of adventure and traveling the world.
My adventure book.
But you know, when you're a brown girl, you can't just get a backpack and say, "Bye mom, I'm gonna take a gap year and travel the world." That doesn't happen. Most of us browns don't do that. I mean, we don't even do sleepovers, and my mom would have laughed at my nerve to even ask the question.
You're staying home.
And most importantly, number one, I had no money. Number two, society says you need to study, do your degree, get a job, or else you'll become a failure. So I did what I was expected to do like a good kid. So along with school during 5 weekdays, I started doing SIMA during Saturday and Sunday. I mean, because SIMA is a very good professional qualification, right? Wrong. I had no clue what I was gonna do with it. I just did it because everyone else was doing it.
Just gonna go with the flow.
Eventually, I completed my A-levels and 3 stages of SEMA. Now, I wasn't the smartest kid in the room, guys, but I made sure that I put in that extra effort to get through these exams because I thought it might just take me somewhere. Now, by this time, I was right after school. And you know, guys, what's worse than being a poor kid? Being a poor kid in a rich school. I mean, that shit hits you hard because you see everyone else having everything and you got nothing, and life does feel unfair during moments like this. Most of my friends and my classmates were going abroad for universities. I mean, sometimes going abroad for universities as a student is like a rich kid thing, and I was no rich kid, but I always yearned for a time when I could also do that.
I sure want one someday, though.
But you see, what I realized is, if you keep working on yourself until you figure out what you really want to do with your life, doors will keep opening up. So because I had my 3 levels of SEMA right after school, I was able to do just the last year of my bachelor's degree. But then again, everything is money, right? I had to get a student loan to complete my degree. And to pay off the student debt, I had to get my first job when I was 19 years old. Now, it wasn't a fancy job, but then it gave me the great opportunity of working and traveling to India for 4 months. And that brought back the spirit of adventure in me. I knew I really wanted to live that independent life abroad and travel the world. But then again, I also knew that the $300 salary that I earned from my 9 to 5 wouldn't let me do that. So I tried multiple ways to earn my dollars. I applied to be an air hostess at 2 airlines, but got rejected both the times. I also applied for jobs online in different countries, but the only callbacks I got were scams. And I also applied for online gigs like virtual assistant and things like that, but nothing really worked out for me. And then one day, the most mysterious incident happened to me back in 2018. This totally random leaflet flew across and fell right in front of me. And I'm not that person who usually reads random leaflets, but then there was something about this and I had that urge to pick it up and read. And it was exactly this leaflet. And guess what, guys? It was the immigration agent that I applied my Canadian PR through. I was so excited and I met him the next day. He took a look at my profile and said that I may have a chance of applying. I was so over the moon that I finally saw a path clearing out for me. Now, it wasn't an easy path, it wasn't a smooth path for sure. I knew that I had to work for it. But then I told myself, I'm gonna make it work somehow. First things first, I had to do my IELTS exam. I did the exam the first time and I did not get enough points. So I went for classes again and did the IELTS exam the second time and managed to get through. Now, the second step was the educational assessment. So I was supposed to get points equivalent to a master's when I had my degree and also my SEMA. But the thing was, I haven't done that final stage in SEMA by this time. So I got my educational assessment rejected saying insufficient points. Now, I didn't want to give up again. I went back for classes for SEMA. I did my final stage, I did my case study and the interview, and I reapplied for my educational assessment. And finally, in 2020 the wait was over. I got my invitation to apply. Now, by this time, I knew it was just a matter of months for me to get my actual visa, and I was so excited because I was finally coming close to my dream, right?
Been waiting for this moment for all my life. One more time, guys. Oh Lord.
Wrong. And as you all know, what happened in Wuhan didn't stay in Wuhan. And yes, it was COVID and it was that time of the decade, and Canada stopped processing outland visa applications, unfortunately. This time was so painful, and I'm sure all of you could relate. We could not plan anything for the future because it was so unpredictable. But after a painful long wait of 2 years, finally in 2022, I got my visa. I packed my whole life and savings in 3 bags and came to Canada. Just kidding, I took a flight to Canada actually. This was me leaving the airport. Yes, I wasn't crying. I was way too excited. Maybe a little too excited to be going out to a world all alone because I've never traveled alone before. I guess what I'm trying to say from my story is that if you really want it bad enough, things will work out for you for sure. You don't have to be a brainy kid, a rich kid, or have parents with connections for your dreams to work out. Now, I'm not saying that I've reached the pinnacle and I'm it. I'm way far from that. I mean, I still have a life here to build in Canada. But what I'm saying is, when I look back, I was born to a middle income family. I had zero money, zero guidance, and I wasn't a brainy kid either. And there was very few chances of me landing this opportunity to come abroad and live a life independently here. But I decided to work for it, and I worked hard for it. I hope my story would inspire you at least a teeny little bit to go for your dreams and never give up. And finally guys, this video is dedicated to my dad. I know that he is watching right now. He did not have a big salary, but he made sure he spent most of it sending me and my sister to English speaking schools. I know that he found it hard to pay our fees at times, but then he never stopped schooling us and he never gave up, which is why right after school I thought of not becoming a burden and funding my own education. So let's just be grateful to our parents. They really do what they can to give us the best in life. Thank you so much for watching, and if you liked my video, give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe because I'll be posting a video every week. See you guys next week.